Joining us now are Matthew and Jake, and they are insurance brokers, but they're also father and son. Welcome to the show. How are you guys?
Great, Donna. Thanks for having
Doing
us.
well. Thank
So
you.
nice to meet you. We celebrated my birthday, actually,
Happy
right, at a
birthday.
local restaurant.
Yes.
I got to learn so much about your journey and what makes you different. So it's nice to have you here on set today. Insurance, it's a big situation, right? And a lot of times people suffer because they don't have the right insurance. Sometimes there's denials, there's all this other kind of stuff. And insurance isn't really just a matter of having it or not having it, but it's important to have the right insurance. And that's why I wanted to celebrate you guys, because it seems to me like after a story that you shared in a networking group, that's exactly what you're all about. You're putting the people first. So Matt, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the story that you shared, right? And I was so inspired by it. What happened?
Gotcha. The story I shared was a health insurance situation where I met a business owner located in the Huntington area, and she didn't want to meet me. She had a broker for many years. She goes, I'm fine. We insisted on the meeting. I sat down with her. She was scheduled for a double mastectomy. I sat down with her. I looked at her Emblem products. She didn't realize upon renewal, her broker didn't catch the fact that Emblem was changing her provider network that she had access to. Provider network changed drastically. We realized her oncologist and her hospital, being Sloan Kettering, was not a part of the new network upon her Emblem renewal.
Okay.
So the double mastectomy she had scheduled was not going to happen, or if it was going to happen, it was going to happen totally out of pocket. So I was able to change her plan, change her network in the next 2 weeks, where she was able to continue with the mastectomy, covered according to her benefit plan, and go to the doctor she wanted and the hospital she wanted. So thank God she granted the meeting with me and got rid of her old broker, of course.
It's amazing. And the reason that it touched me is the fact that my mom had passed away from breast cancer, sadly. Both of my aunts, but my aunts are long-term survivors. I understand, and then losing a spouse to colon cancer, I understand how insurance can make all the difference in the world, because sometimes you have the co-pays, or sometimes things are like out of pocket and you don't realize it, right? And Jake, for you also, you've also been able to help people, together. What was the situation for you?
Yeah, every situation that we come across is simply just a matter of lack of understanding. It's
Okay.
a very confusing industry. So one of my first ever clients was a small business owner, and he had insurance just to have insurance. He was paying a bill on a bronze HSA plan, which is pretty low level in terms of benefits. He didn't really understand what his plan consisted of. His wife, when we met, was about 4 or 5 months pregnant. So she was due to have a baby, and he did not know that his hospital benefit was going to cost them $14,000 to have this baby. Once we made him aware of that, he was open to some ideas, and we quickly put him on a new plan where the hospital benefit only cost him $500. So we saved him a good amount of money for this baby, and then we moved them around afterwards. That's what we do, is we know how to work that insurance industry and put in the right plan at the right time, and then could always remove it later on.
Well, that cost savings, if they were able then to still make payments, could then end up paying for that kid's college, right? Do you know what I'm saying? There's so many, just the way to use insurance to the benefit of your family, it is important to have. A lot of times people also don't think that they can qualify for something. And you were telling me, Matt, about a new program where somebody can get covered. How does that work? How can you create groups or opportunities for people?
Yeah, some people don't realize what they're eligible for.
Okay.
People call us up, Matt, I was referred to you by so-and-so. I'm a business owner, but it's just me. Well, it's not just you. Do you have any partners? Do you have any employees? Yes, I have a partner. I have an employee, but just me. I'm the only one going on the insurance. In that situation with a partner, you may be eligible for group health insurance, which opens up the spectrum of options at sometimes better price points. So it's really just having somebody, what we say in our place is we're laser focused on health insurance. That's our tagline. A lot of brokers do a lot of insurance products. We do health, we do dental and vision, but health insurance is our specialty and has been for 23 years now.
I also was speaking to somebody last night. There were guests that flew in to be on the show today, right? And so you can also write policies, not just here in the state of New York, but you have opportunities for people to get health insurance different places where they live, correct? I think that's the other thing that people don't realize.
Yeah, absolutely. All 50 states, it's pretty easy. Once you are licensed in the base of New York, if you need to apply to a license in another state, typically very easy application process. Sometimes a couple questions need to be answered, but yeah, the short answer is we can help anyone in the country. There's a lot of plans available.
Okay. And so most insurers or most companies, they offer you insurance. I think is it if you work 30 hours plus, they have to offer it, or does it depend on how many employees a business has? What are the basics?
The basics are 20 hours a week and minimum wage at least to be
Okay.
eligible for your group health insurance. But there's plans out there now for 1099 contractors. If you're a 1099 for the employer, If you were a W-2, of course. We have companies that have 3 or 4 partners with no employees, and they still qualify for group health insurance.
Gotcha.
Whether it's S Corp, C Corps, or whatnot.
So they could reach out to you and have their questions answered.
Absolutely.
Jake, is there anything important you wanted me to know? I know that you also are very charitable. You guys work with a lot of different like nonprofit groups and things like that. So you're able to like help a lot of different people.
You want to touch on John's Crazy Socks?
Yeah, we'll give a quick shout out, and this was unplanned, but we do have a gift for you today
You
due
do
to
not.
our recent partnership. A lot of people do know John's Crazy Socks. If
Yes,
you don't,
I know
certainly
John.
check them out. This
Oh
is a
my
pair of our Eagle Group
gosh.
planning socks. I'm actually sporting
Wait
them
a
myself
second.
today.
Okay, so John's Crazy Socks actually made you Eagle Group Planning Socks?
Yeah, we partnered with them earlier this year. So now every group client that we bring on board, just to give back and help their community with John's Crazy Socks, we ship out a pair of socks for every employee of every client that we have.
And a percent of
Amazing.
all the proceeds goes to Special Olympics.
I love that. Special Olympics are important. John's important to me. Would you tell him
Yeah,
that I
they're
said
awesome.
hello and that I said
Will
thank
do.
you for the socks?
Yeah, it's
Great.
another
That's so
father-son
funny.
duo.
What?
They don't make us look as good nearly as them, but it's a father-son duo that is lights out. They
Yeah,
do some really great
they're
things.
amazing. They're doing a lot for the community. They've been guests on the show before. We even, when you talked to John, we even did a dance party. John and I had a dance
Amazing.
party for John's Crazy Socks. Oh, and they're nicely made. They're so good. I love the socks. Okay, I'm going to throw this to the camera. Stay tuned for more. We've been living it up right here with Matt and Jake. And if you have any, and I mean any insurance questions, just reach out to them. Go Eagles. Woo!